Hi my salty pecans, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Pamela, and I am actually coming on here today to make another sad video. My previous video was it really considered sad? I don't know, let me know. My previous video was me actually rescuing some houseplants from my mom because she could not manage to keep them alive. And today's video is actually me sharing with you all a few houseplants that the heat wave that recently has swept this whole literal earth has gotten damaged by the heat wave. And I think, well, not think, but obviously my care has contributed to their outcome, but the freaking heat wave, if you live on the East Coast, the West Coast, you live in the South, if you're up in the UK, Europe, this heat wave has literally just, it's one of the hottest summers ever. And for example, if you live in England, London, it's literally the hottest that I believe that country has ever been in the history of the UK, literally. So I'm gonna share with you all a couple of houseplants and the damage that the sun has done to them. I'm definitely doing my best to bring them back to life, to rehab them after literally noticing all the horrid things that happened to them. So if you're interested in pretty much seeing what I'm about to show you, and come and console me, please. Come, I hope somebody can just rub my back for me. Rub my back for me, pat me, tell me, Pam, it's gonna be okay, alright? So let's get into the intro, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you all what's happening. So welcome back, everybody. Honestly, baby, I swear this is deja vu, because this happened to me 2 summers ago in regards to this first plant I'm going to show you. Well, you can already see it in the frame, but 2 summers ago I lost both of my Hoya linearis, and this summer I refuse to lose this one. One thing that I do know about the Hoya linearis, and I've made videos about it, is that this plant does not like to dry out. The heat in New York, the heat in this room in particular is really, it's really hot in this room. So I also think I did not water it to the amount that it needed to be, so I'm definitely going to like get back onto the watering needs for this. But as you can see, this plant has dropped so many of its needles in a matter of a couple of days. Like, you just touch it and it's like shedding, literally just shedding. Not all of the, oh my god, this happened to me a few years ago and I didn't realize that it was because of the dehydration. So I know this is because of dehydration. I know this pot didn't get enough water. As you can see, if you look at, for example, these strands, you see how dried out they are. Can you see all of these like needles? I literally feel like I'm in the club. Because any touch, I feel like needles are just like falling. So I think I also might want to move this plant out of this room and put it in my kitchen, because my kitchen gets a little bit of softer light. And I'm really hoping, gosh, look at this, dry. This one particular here, I like pulled the whole thing out because this part dried out, but this is a bit more viable. So I am going to, oh, and it had a little pedunky. Oh, so this is the first plant that literally I noticed today. I didn't even notice like the other days when I was watering the other plants, but definitely I'm going to get back and stay on top of the watering of this plant. Make sure I keep this plant moist. I'm not gonna let it dry out because it dried out way too much, and that's why we're in the situation that we are in right now. So a lot of them dropped their needles. Some are like just fully bare. Alright, so this is the first plant. Let me show you the next house plant. So house plant number 2 is this beauty here. I've had this plant since 2020, and I probably maybe lost like 1 or 2 leaves in the last 2.5 years. This year I'm losing quite a few. So I think I already like ripped out one, but now I have this one, this one, this one, and this one. So again, the sun is too harsh. I might have to probably like close the shade a bit the next really extremely like hot coming weeks, and we're only in July. It's not even August yet. This is also another plant that does not like to actually stay dry, and again, I think this plant stayed too dry. It also lives over here next to my Hoya linearis. It lives on that stand right here, and again, this plant most likely dried out way too much, and I wasn't paying attention to the moisture, the watering requirements for this plant during the heat wave week that we had this past week. I'm literally like starting to sweat myself. Let me show you the next plant. The next one, I've had this plant for about 3-4 years now. This is my Monstera Peru. I imported this one from the UK, and this plant has been doing so good, but now all of a sudden I'm having just like so many freaking yellow leaves, and I don't know what's going on. This plant in particular, I have no idea what's going on, and I don't know what's going on with my collection. I don't know what's going on with my plants. Look at all these leaves. I'm just like popping off. But we have no growth. So one thing I can say is that even though I'm losing leaf, there are new growth points coming out, new leaves pushing out. So it's not like the plant itself is unhappy. It's just the older leaves are not getting the nutrients that it needs. So I am gonna actually fertilize these plants this week sometime. Today is Tuesday that I'm recording this video, so maybe I'll probably water everybody on Thursday with fertilizer. But I just popped off what, 5 leaves, and there's like a 6th one that wants to like come out also. You can see the difference between this green, dark forest green, and this like yellow to be foliage. This is just really sad, but I'm trying not to stress about it and like bring my blood pressure up, but this is actually really stressful. I do want to say not every single plant in my collection has been damaged by the heat. Not every single plant that's like in the windows, those are like oddly enough like okay, but certain ones that are actually like a bit further back, and literally the plants that are on this wall has a little bit of just like unnecessary damage. So I'm also going to water this houseplant again, give it nutrients, give it water, help it just like boost itself back up, because maybe it's too hot, too dry, and it's just not able to maintain itself. So this is the next houseplant in my collection that the heat wave has gotten to. Honestly, I just feel like the heat wave is freaking Vecna, and my houseplants are like okay, this is Stranger Things plant edition. Oh my gosh, literally. So these 2 plants, my favorite house plants ever, my Hoya carnosa compactas, were also casualties during this freaking heat wave. And it's the side that's facing the window that has gotten the sun damage because it's just way too hot. I can't pull this back from the sun, you know, because I just can't. They have been living in this window for years now. I think since maybe 2019 these plants have been living in this window, and they've given me no issues. They were perfectly fine, perfectly happy. But as you can see, sun damage has gotten to them. The heat, it was too hot, and I think I probably let them dry out a bit too much for the temperature, for the how it is. So they were also casualties, because usually I let this plant dry out in between waterings because I noticed that they do thrive off of a little bit of neglect. But this week I should have just like amped up the watering for everybody. Even like my outdoor house plants are doing okay. Some of them, yeah, no, the outdoor like cactus, the euphorbias, they're all fine. They've actually grown a lot. I'm looking at them right now. But these, do you see this? Even the fern is just like, Pam, you know what we need. And I know what they need. I just was not expecting for this to happen when it happened. Like, you can't blame me for that. But I'm just so upset at myself for not realizing, not noticing sooner. Yes, this plant is like out of eyesight, which is another thing, right? Like, I'm not able, like when it's up in the windows, right? I can't see this. You know, I see the beautiful, healthy green side, but yeah, pretty much is what's happening. I'm not going to like pick at them, the leaves. I'm gonna just let the leaves fall off naturally, because sometimes just because it's like sun damage doesn't mean that like it's dead. But some of them, obviously, like the brown crispy ones, are definitely like Lord Donzo Gonzo. Even my freaking little haworthia has a bit of like super sun stress, sun damage. Again, this is the side that's facing the window, and this is the side that's not. So this plant in general, I honestly, I keep pretty dry. Like, I probably water this little pot once a month, once every 2 months. So I have to probably, definitely, not probably, I definitely have to amp up the watering for this plant also. So this is the, what, 6th plant that has exhibited a bit of stress from the heat wave that we just recently had. So salty peeps, those are pretty much all the house plants that have exhibited extreme, just this like extreme sadness in regards to the heat wave. Look at how sweaty my neck is. Gross. So I cannot wait to hop in the shower. I literally just got home from work maybe a couple minutes before I started filming anyway. So basically all I know is that I have to get my ish together. Y'all know how much I love the linearis. I refuse to let anything happen to this plant. I refuse to add another one in my collection. I refuse to buy another one. I refuse to lose another one. We are not losing that Hoya linearis at all, for nothing, for nobody. We're gonna stay on top of the watering because our mental health is feeling good. Our mental health is doing good. We are happy. We are in such a good place in our life, and life is just going to continue to get better. And we are not going to damage and let Mother Nature damage and hurt our babies, okay? So that is pretty much all I wanted to share with you all in today's video. Again, I am pretty sad about it. It is really like disappointing that, you know, this has happened, but we live and we learn. This heat, this harsh heat, it's new for us. It's new literally for a majority of the world. So I just had to adjust, and I'm adjusting now, and I am not going to let this happen. Obviously, I'm showing you the plants now, but I have watered everybody already for watering. And even my catnip, believe it or not, I was letting my catnip dry out too much, and I lost, you know, you know, they dried out a lot, but we're keeping our catnip moist, and we're gonna go feed the kitties actually some catnips. Oh, she sees it, she's about to come get her catnip right now. Give her a new leaf. Girlfriend, let me give her a piece of catnip. Come. Here's some catnip. Yeah. Yeah? Okay, okay. I'll give it to you on the floor. She loves her catnip. Also, share with me some care tips for the summer. If you live always in a hot climate, how do you deal with the heat? Let me know what you do, because I don't want to lose my plants and I don't want to overwater them either. So with that being said, my salty pecans, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please let me know by giving this video a big old catnip thumbs up, and share. Subscribe if you aren't already. Join this little kooky family, because we're pretty awesome here. Become a salty pecan, and don't forget to follow me on my other social media platforms at HauzPlant, HauzPlant, and make sure you are following and subscribe to my second channel. That second channel is the fun channel where I do everything NPR, non-plant related. I do hauls, I do like vlogs, whatever else, and I have a try-on haul that's actually going to be posted alongside of this plant video. So check out my second channel. It will be linked in the description box of this video. You're literally just gonna see that's the first link when you click the description of this video. And I think I said everything I needed to say. I will see you on the next one. Let's get growing. Bye.